I suppose you could say that there's something about the mystical body that is inherently corporate. To collaborate in this way in a piece of music that goes into the Passion of Christ might be regarded as theologically appropriate. That's not to say that it's easy or indeed predictable.
James, we're speaking here 2 days before the US premiere of your new St. Luke Passion. Now, this isn't the first time you've set the Passion narrative. You've set St. John's Passion narrative before. This is Luke. Tell us about the differences.
Everything's different. There are no soloists. The orchestra is smaller. Christ is sung by a children's chorus. All the other parts are taken by the principal chorus. It's slightly shorter, there is no interval. I think it was my intention to make the two pieces as different as possible.
Was that decision, or any of those decisions, determined by the nature of the texts themselves, or artistic, musical decisions?
Both, I think. It's a big change to go from St. John to one of the synoptic Gospels. There's a different emphasis in Luke, different message, different mood, different character of Christ even.
The composing of this has been slightly different, or perhaps very different in some ways from composing of the John Passion or your other pieces, in that you've been working with a group. 3 major meetings we had with the Duke Cambridge group, a group of theologians, writers, musician or two.
It really came entirely from the discussions we've had.
Tell us about that collaboration. That's an unusual thing for a composer. Composers are often thought to be fairly solitary creatures who like to do things on their own, preserve their independence, go away into a corner, as it were, and then come out with the great and grand work. We had 3, at least from our point of view, extraordinary and exciting meetings. Some reflections on that process and how you think the piece is different because of that.
Yes, you're right, it is an unusual way of working, and I can't think of many composers that would do this. And you're right, composers are these isolated figures. There's still that little bit of the romantic individual hero about being a composer, a hangover from the 19th century, which gives complete autonomy to the composer. I prefer to see my role as a composer as a member of a community, not just one community, but lots of communities.
I had an opportunity to respond to James MacMillan's lecture to the Duke community about the composition. I raised the following points. The first one was, could he put his finger on the extent to which we had influenced him? It was very interesting because, to be perfectly honest, he found it quite difficult. And he says that when he's composing, it's almost like he's in a dream. And that when he interacts with people, it's semi-conscious, and therefore he wasn't able to pinpoint particular moments that we had influenced him, but he knew that we had.
The first performance in Amsterdam was in a secular concert hall.
Mm-hmm.
This performance is in a sacred space, what we might think of as a cathedral, Duke Chapel. Do you think this piece has the potential to do something to bridge what some people would see as a kind of secular divide, or is that perhaps a distinction you're unhappy with?
I don't necessarily think too much about the divide, mainly because people who love music are very tolerant and open and knowledgeable about the Judeo-Christian roots of our musical culture. So when a secular audience, or even just ordinary secular people, go to hear their Bach passions, they do it with a deep respect of traditions. Many sceptical musical lovers still will use the word spiritual in the description of the impact that music has on their lives. So there's a lot that we can share.
I was really impressed by the way the presentation of Luke's Gospel, with centrally a children's choir, changed the whole experience of the gospel. And I think it was deeply in line with Luke as the one gospel which gives us Jesus as a child, as a 12-year-old. By using the children's choir, he brought that dimension of the opening of Luke's gospel right through the whole of the Passion.
The point about the way that music presents theological ideas is it doesn't shove them in your face. It's not reducible to a certain kind of propositional line. That's the magic of it. Although I can see now how these theological ideas fed in, it might be better not to be too explicit about this and wait to have people say things, why did he start like that?
I value the way that ideas from others resonate with me. I write music because of other people. I write music in order to communicate our shared humanity. So that the dialogue and the sharing of ideas and discussion for me is a very important thing. I'm not a theologian, I'm not a biblical scholar at all. I'm not a poet, but I love being around people who are these things. If it wasn't for the group that was constituted, these are the kind of people I would have sought